Well, I mean, I'm not sure anybody got a long way to catch up to the Cowboys. Y'all been in the back seat for a long time.
Far be it for me to disagree.
Well, but he's talking about, and the words him used are absolutely. You can't question his veracity. He's right on what he's saying. That there is a reality to it. They do have a long way to go. They have 2, we have 5. They
only got 2?
That's it. That's it. And we have 5. But the other thing is, though, the thing is, when we talk currently, in order to get a gauge on what we are doing currently, we go back to look at our history. And the current history of the Dallas Cowboys has been what it is. And the current history of Philadelphia Eagles is what it is. And they have it going right now.
Listen,
I've been sounding this alarm. I'm glad they're getting on board.
Michael, all y'all season ticket holders from when y'all won have passed away.
Not all of them.
Not all of them. What you mean? All y'all season ticket holders.
There are adults.
Yeah,
this is what I'm saying.
Decades on this earth.
See, this is what I'm saying.
That have not seen the Cowboys win.
Right. And I said that. It's been 30 years. Okay. But this is not. This is what they do with it, Emmitt. They take it and run with it like a young, like a young Ben Johnson. Just run it. Because the reality is the Cowboys are still the #1 team. Ask the TV people. Ask the ratings. I think it's Cowboys in the Giants game last year. Wait. We talking about eye gates and interest. That's what we talking about. Eye gates and interest.
And losing.
I know, but we just talked about them not being important. Everybody's still tuning in. He said all of our people are dead. Who's watching all these games?
Just the season ticket holders from 19.
You know what I'm saying? All the stadiums are full.
You do realize, though, all
the stadiums are full in the home. I'm just saying, I'll take it. They haven't won in 30 years. All that other superfluous stuff y'all running, it's just superfluous. Just stuff that's coming out. It's
I can't spell that, so I'm not even going to try. But it
doesn't mean, it means y'all just talking.
I didn't say what it meant. I said I can't spell it.
Okay.
So I'm not even going to try
that one.
So the thing that I want to say to you, unless Troy Aikman, Michael Irvin, and Emmitt Smith walking through that door, y'all going to be in the same position. And E needs to understand that. E knows that. Y'all are the laughing stock of the NFC East right now.
Right.
That's what y'all are.
And that's why the only part I will agree here with Key is on that part. Because when E says, well, we ain't allowed nothing. I don't know what you say, though. We have allowed. I've been up here trying not to allow, and when I put on the uniform, I made sure not to allow. This is not my era of Cowboys. When I had it, let me tell you the era. Hey, run that for him, John. No. Let me show you so you know. So you know when I had it.
Well, let us know it then.
Watch it. That was my era. That's what you were saying. Right there. Was no question, was no doubt. And on the picture I'm saying, the world is ours because I delivered it to her. We ain't doing nothing. They did.
What was that?
They did it to
What
we.
was that for? The anniversary?
That was Jimmy getting his ring.
Ring of honor for Jimmy. Jimmy he wasn't in the ring of honor for like. Yeah, it's a tit for tat.
So that's a long story. We can't get in that story, Paul. You're trying to just go. Yeah.
No, I know that's
we're already into a bad story. We ain't got to go to another one.
But y'all told me. But you also told me once Jimmy got in, things would be lifted.
Yeah, the curse.
The curse would be lifted, but...
Yeah, I think the curse lifted. We got to get some players.
Did you think the curse got lifted?
I think the curse lifted. We just got to get the players.
Well, how? How? Where?
Yeah.
We're going to find one.
Talk about it.
We're going to find one right now in this draft.
You want to give it a go? You want to give it a try? The spelling superfluous?
No, I don't. I don't even want to try.
What'd you give? What did you do?
Superfluous. S-U-P-E-R.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you Googled it.
Yeah.
Joey Googled it.
Originally, P-H-A-L-I-S? L-O-U-S?
No, not even.
I'm wrong, too, though, but I'm pretty close. Super, and then I said F-O-L-O-U-S, and it's actually super F-L-U-O.
Oh, okay.
Mo, is he here?
Mo, yeah, Mo's here.
Where's Mo? Mo can give a shot at.
You guys, man. You guys.
Nah, come on, dog.
Cowboys. Cowboys, who had the 12th pick in the NFL draft, Chief Operating Officer Stephen Jones, said that with how their draft board is falling, he does not see the Cowboys moving up, but, quote, could see a situation where we move down. Sounds very similar, very eerily similar to what he said yesterday. Let's take a listen.
If you look at the Dallas Cowboys, when they sitting in this type of spot, they usually go down. And they pick up extra picks because that's what they like to do. They like to get more picks in the draft. Now, it doesn't mean they got to move from 12 to 32. They may just slide down to 18 or something with Seattle and pick up a couple second rounders, a third round pick in this year's draft. I don't understand. That guy, man.
Well, Dallas has traded back in the first round 2 of the last 4 years. In 2024, they traded down in the first round for the first time since 2021. They took tackle Tyler Guyton with the 29th pick after making a deal with the Lions. And then in 2021, they went from 10 to 12 overall in a trade with the Eagles. They took Micah Parsons.
That worked out.
And the Eagles got wide receiver Devontae Smith with the Cowboys pick that year. So I would say both of them got what they wanted in that trade down. But
worked out for the Eagles.
Michael, do you have a problem with the Cowboys draft strategy?
Well, in the way you formed the question, I do not have a problem with the Cowboys draft strategy in past years.
Right.
I have a problem with that strategy this year.
Why? Why this year?
Well, because the Cowboys have just clearly, the last couple of years, not gone out and spent a lot of money on a big-time free agent to really bring some talent in. You know, they're waiting on that second and sometimes even that third round of free agency. So that's okay. That's fine. Because you had a lot of in-house talent. You had a lot of people to pay. So now, in order to get back into playing in big-time football games, like playoff games, you need to interject this team with a big-time talent. And usually, that explosive big-time talent is going to be in the top 10. It's not going to be in the bottom or the mid-10 or the bottom 10. It's in the top 10. So right now, if you're telling me you're going to want to get back into the hunt and back into the playoffs, this strategy that may have worked prior to is not going to work right here because you need that other player, as I explained to you guys, to get you from the 20 points you're averaging right now to the 27, 28 that you were averaging the last 3 years prior to last year. That's what they have to do. And you usually find that in the top 10, not the other 10. So I have a problem with that strategy. This year, they've had great long-term success with this strategy. But this year's a bad year.
But Michael, they have to address a lot of issues. You think holding this pick there at was it 12?
12.
That they can address their offensive needs, like completely?
I think you can find
an explosive player, an explosive wide receiver. But don't you think it'd be better, like saying that we trade down and get multiple pieces, because they have a lot of weaknesses, especially on the defensive side, to where you could probably find somebody in the second round to still be explosive. I mean, there's hidden gems. We always see them every year in the draft.
But we ain't got time to go hide and seek. That's what I'm trying to tell you. The hide and seek days are gone. We can't go find them gems. We need to know that it's a for show. Well, that's what I'm trying to say in the top.
You gotta let. First of all, I was right yesterday, so I just want to say that. And Stephen Jones might have been listening to us, Michael. He may have been listening in one of his big offices out in Frisco, checking us out on the screen. So you got to let the draft unfold to begin with, right? Mm-hmm. So because what happens is you get a run on certain positions. Then all of a sudden, you know how this goes, Michael. You look up and the quarterbacks are gone. Now all of a sudden there's a run on offensive linemen.
Right.
Just boom, 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 boom. Or defensive linemen, boom, 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 boom. Mm-hmm. Corners, boom, 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 boom. That explosive player that you're talking about, Michael, may be just sitting there at right around that 18th mark, because at 12, those linemen are coming off the board, and the Cowboys don't want to. So they say, I tell you what, we'll let somebody else go up and get this offensive lineman. We'll move back 5 picks, drop down to 17, and we're still able to get that explosive player that we want to, on top of picking up something in the third round, something in next year's draft or whatever, And then if we want to climb back up on the back end of the first round, we can give some of them 7th and 3rd and 4th round picks that we collected over the years to whoever to go back up and pick 2 players in the first round. So you got to let the draft kind of unfold before you just think, oh, all explosive players are going to be gone. And to Paul's point, everybody picking in the first round ain't explosive. There's dudes in the 3rd round that got a lot of talent, but they're the 3rd round because there may be some stuff along the way, or second and along the way.
That's what I've been saying. We ain't got time to fix their stuff.
Since when have the Cowboys not have time to fix somebody's personal stuff, Michael?
Because
that's what they do.
What we just talked about. It's been 30 years. I'm talking about that chronological.
But you're not gonna get a player
now
in this year's
you
draft.
want to wait 3 more years for him to develop. That's why he's in the 3rd round.
No, that's not true.
But, okay,
you know, guys drop because of some character issues or whatever it is.
Right. All of those things. But whatever it is, we're going to have to work with him. We are saying we don't have time to work.
You got plenty of time.
We got to get this player now to get back in this game. We got 2 players, 2 teams in our division that was in the championship game.
But if
you got to get.
But if I can get a guy in the 2nd round or the middle to the back end of the draft that's explosive, because Gentry's gone and the receiver is gone.
I want you to find that.
I don't think they can move that far back.
I want you to find that in your hunt, but I don't want that to be your destination.
Yeah, if they were to move 1 or 2 spots, like the Micah, Devontae Smith type of situation, that's understandable.
But they moved back on the Micah Devontae Smith situation because, again, they let the draft unfold. They started looking at it, and they said, this dude's going to fall to us. Philadelphia said, we don't have a reason for Micah. We got a reason for a receiver. Let's switch with them, and they can grab who they want, and they can grab who they want.
Right, but they only moved from 10 to 12.
No, that's fine, and they can move from 12 to 15 or 12 to 17. It's still get what they want.
It's about seeing some aggression about the team. I understand what you're saying and about trying to find value. Everyone wants to find value, but there are so many things at work here. Yeah, I want to find the best value all the time, but I also want to send some hope to the fan base. I want to send some hope to the team that I got a real player coming. We're about to do something. That matters here, especially with Cowboys Nation, and especially with what we're seeing. I want to see them say we're going to be strategic, and we're going to figure out what player we want for the reason we want him, and we're going to be aggressive about going to get that player. That's how you say that, because then it gives us all hope that you're trying to do something with this damn team, as opposed to just sitting on your hands, not doing anything, waiting on Christmas to fall in your lap. Let's just see what falls. Let's see what falls. No, I don't want that. I want to see you go and get what's...
There are busts in the first round all the time. We know that. And then there are Hall of Famers in the 6th round. We know that. But the problem with the Cowboys is, where I will agree with Michael, is they don't do anything with the for sures in free agency. Free agency is where you go out and get a for sure. We have evidence that you can play in this system and that you can put up these numbers and that you can work with this style and that you're this durable. We have all of that. In the draft, there's a reason why there's different rounds and rankings. And people get it wrong all the time. But to Michael's point, the Cowboys have to take a swing because they don't take a swing in free agency. So if they move down, I wouldn't move more than 2.
But if you're looking at the board and you drafted, in what we think is a big swing in a home run, they look at it differently because they have the data and they're scouting it and they're watching it and they're seeing it. Certain drafts, you can go from 1 to 32 and it's stacked. Mm-hmm. You know, it's ridiculous. It can't miss at 32. In other drafts, there'd be maybe 5 players that pan out and the rest of these dudes in the first round are just going home in a couple of years.
Right, which is why sometimes you need to mix it up in free agency. But the Cowboys don't do that. And for 30 years, they've had.
Right. I'm just saying.
You just saying?
Subscribe here to get the latest from Speak, and go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.